What's up, trade crew? Welcome back to the HVAC R&D podcast. I'm your host, Rhydon and Atzenhoffer, aka the Ramblin' Rhino, and I am super excited to finally release the full audio version of this show, so let's get it, y'all. Trade crew, as I briefly mentioned in the opening, I am stoked to be releasing the full audio version of being featured on Behind the Mindset with HVAC Tactical. A sincere thank you to Ben, Rebecca, and the entire HVAC Tactical team for the invitation and for everything that they do to elevate this trade and the people in it. From Ben's social media channel to the HVAC Tactical magazine, which currently features another great friend of mine, Miss HVAC Installer herself, Rachel Martin's on the cover. You can find the magazine on the counter at your local wholesale distribution warehouse such as Carrier Enterprise here in Charlotte or around the nation as well as online. Another thank you goes to Bosch Home Comfort, who supported Ben and the HVAC Tactical team with getting this show put together. Massive appreciation as well for my supporters of the HVAC R&D podcast, JPL, RLS Rapid Locking System, and AC Products USA for backing this show's continued mission of being the voice of distribution, manufacturers, and contractors wanting to elevate their game and appreciate the experience, stories, and history of the trades and the trade crew. Two announcements before we dive in. HVAC Tactical Award Show tickets for Las Vegas are on sale now. If you know, you know, don't sleep on it. They're going fast. Myself and TradeWife will be there cheering on our friends of the industry. I also will officially be back in the podcast pavilion at the AHR Expo in Las Vegas this coming February. The show is on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. So come hang out with us for two live shows. Both of them will be at 11 o'clock. The first one on Monday, and the second one on Tuesday in Podcast Pavilion A. Super excited for the trade show. Come say what's up. Be part of the live energy. So all right, let's get into it. Behind the Mindset with HVAC Tactical and HVAC R&D starts now.
What's
up, brother?
Special edition.
Special edition.
Twofer.
Yes,
so
absolutely.
HVAC R&D meets Behind the Mindset. Behind the Mindset meets HVAC R&D.
Right.
So you'll be able to see this on our platform as well as R&D platform.
Yeah, I'm excited. I usually don't have video, so
first time for
big
everything.
step up for
so
R&D.
Anybody who doesn't know what he looks like,
right?
This is it. Look at his face.
In the flesh. No, thanks for doing this, man. I appreciate it.
I appreciate you meeting me, man. So we're obviously in your neck of the woods.
Yeah, welcome to Charlotte. This is a sweet studio, by the way.
Undisclosed location here in Charlotte.
Sweet spot.
Yeah.
Do we need to plug them? Does that make them like us more?
I don't know.
I don't know. Does that get us perks? Can I come? Can I come back for
Grindhouse Studios?
Yeah, Grindhouse Studios.
Grindhouse
so can I come back for a 25% off discount if I bring my own person for another interview?
Anybody in the Charlotte area looking for a place to do some podcasts, this would be it.
Yeah, absolutely. This is a cool setup.
Yeah.
So
right on, dude. So what's new with you?
All kinds of things.
Hit me.
New job, new product.
New product.
So new product to sell.
No more Bosch.
No more Bosch.
Uh-oh. How does Bosch feel about that?
You ask him. You got my sponsorship money. Just kidding.
I think we're approaching our last episode with them.
Uh-oh.
So Bosch, if you want to re-up, let me know.
Yeah. Call Ben. Someone's got to get that money. No, so I switched jobs. I moved to a different distributor by the time this goes out, probably about 2 months ago. And it's been a good change. Fourth distributor in a 15-year wholesale career. So different job, different tasks, but in some ways more freedom and more fun in some ways, but it's also getting to really go out and kind of test myself again and have a bigger territory than before. So we'll see what happens.
Nice. Now, did you have a background in the contracting game?
So my dad was a contractor. So I grew up in Bryson City, a good 3.5 hours west of Charlotte. First time I ever remember coming to Charlotte was actually for a dealer meeting when I think I was 5 or 6.
Oh, wow.
So my dad used to buy from a company here called Heat Cool Specialist.
What brand?
He was a Rhyd dealer.
Okay.
So for many, many years, I was a Rhyd Ream guy forever. Now I fly the Carrier Blue Oval. So went back to the original.
I grew up in a Ream Rhyd market in southern Arizona. Solid equipment, dude. It's been around a long time. They got a great reputation.
No,
So,
and there's a lot of good brands. I won't sit here and brand bash because who knows what we're going to sell tomorrow. I think it comes down. It's not really necessarily always the brand that makes what it
100%.
is. It's the guy putting it in,
Yep.
and it's the people supporting the guy putting it in.
Well, I think starting with a decent brand, right,
Yep.
is good. That's a good start.
Yeah, any brand with a good brand name helps.
Yeah.
But it comes down to the support you provide the contractor or that the contractor gets from distribution. We were fortunate to have a couple of really good sales guys, which in a lot of ways inspired kind of how I ended up getting into distribution later, but we also had a ton of really crappy ones. And a lot of that kind of led me to want to be, I guess, lack of a better term, I wanted to be the sales guy that I wanted but never got.
Sure.
So, how could I go out and build value to the customer besides just being an order taker? Because I think that's what really sets true salespeople in distribution apart, is if you're actually adding value to the business you're working with.
Well, I think what a lot of contractors fail to realize is that your distributor, whoever you're buying equipment from, is essentially your partner, right?
100%.
And what do they have to offer you other than the brand?
Yep.
Right? Other than the Carrier, other than the Rheem, other than the Lennox, whatever the case may be.
Yep.
If they're not helping you achieve what it is you want to achieve in your business, then maybe it's time for you to find a new partner.
And I think a lot of that comes down to if you want the best out of your distributor, you've got to talk to them.
Yep.
Same thing if you want the best out of any relationship you have in life. If you want to have a good relationship with your wife, you got to talk to her. If you want to have a good relationship with God, you got to talk to him.
I don't know about that.
You got to. You got to, unfortunately. But it comes down to you have to be there for the person and let them know it.
For sure. For sure. Yeah, I mean, all things happen with relationships, right?
Yep.
So you got to start there, and communication is part of a good relationship.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. So why distribution? Why not why not stay as a contractor?
Sorry, Cajun Joe, but that's my dad. Most of you guys that listen to the show, if you've watched it or listened to it, everybody knows Cajun Joe is my dad. He and I just butted heads a little bit, and I worked my way through all of college doing this. So luckily, I didn't have debt getting out of school because I worked in a trade. But I kind of needed to know if I could do it on my own.
Sure.
If that makes sense.
Sure.
Do I think there's a chance I go back to contracting one day? It's very possible. But, I like distribution. I like being able to help guys that need help.
Sure.
Because, my dad didn't have a ton of formal business education. A lot of guys that start their own contracting business don't have that either.
Yep.
And if I can be kind of a feather in the hat or a resource to those guys, then maybe that's what I need to be doing right now.
Yeah, I spent my entire career basically going to bat for clients, right, for homeowners. And when we started Tactical, and then we started, the whole award show stuff, for me, it was like a way for me to shift gears and say, hey, I really want to give back to the community or to contractors and shift my focus to them and not to clients anymore. Mm-hmm. So it's been good for me. I enjoy it. I enjoy seeing people grow. I enjoy seeing people become successful, and any type of little tidbit of knowledge, that you can drop on somebody and they go, oh man, I get it now. Right.
Yep.
Like seeing the light bulb go off for me was a huge thing. I taught for Lennox for about 4 years. And one of the most, for me anyways, the greatest thing that I could get out of those classes was giving somebody a piece of knowledge and then watching the light bulb go off. And they're like, I never thought of it that way, but now it totally makes sense, And then that guy's life just changed because he's going to implement all kinds of things now when he goes back into the field.
Yep.
So yeah, for me, that was always very gratifying for sure.
Well, and I think a lot of the reason R&D ever started was, one, it was pandemic, so how do you talk to people that you can't see on a regular basis now? How can you put a voice out there? But also I kind of stumbled into the HVAC community online. I didn't really know it existed. I mean, I'd had social media stuff forever, like most of us probably had at that point, but
Sure.
I didn't know that was out there. And it was something different that was a means of giving back to the community, or just being able to cheerlead and champion one another, because there's not enough of that anywhere. Not at all. So, seeing what you've done with Tactical, seeing what so many of us do each and every day to just pump each other up, I think it's changed the game for a lot of people.
Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely a life-changing thing. I was listening to again, this will probably post here in the next couple of weeks, but just earlier on the way here, I got tagged in a post from Adrian at Reliable. He was talking to somebody, and they were talking about the award show, and they were talking about me and this and that. And just to hear the perspective from them, right,
Yeah.
or from this guy particularly, it literally brought tears to my eyes. Just like I don't really get to see the impact that I have on people's lives, right?
Yep.
During the award show or whatever, you get to talk to a few people, right? And so you kind of get some of this stuff, but just from that's a one night, right? And then you have a whole year until we do it again. And so like hearing this stuff, and just have people, from their perspective of what it is, how they feel, and how this whole thing has impacted their life and their career. It's just like, man, that's why I do what I do.
I think some of it too is for us that are in the audience of the show, we get to see our friends go up there. And I mean, it can be emotional for you in the crowd too. Like you get pumped when you see your friends go up there.
Sure.
You get really excited. Then you see guys that have went through stuff that maybe people don't know they went through, but because you've got a relationship with them, you know it. And seeing guys like Ilya get an award last year, that was huge. That was awesome to see those guys get up there.
Yeah.
So, Rachel, which, yes, secretly we're in the same studio still. Oh my gosh. But yeah, like getting to see Rachel win, like I was in the front row and got to just stand up and be pumped up. Like that's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, it's cool, man. It's different. Sometimes I'm still like, I can't even believe this is a thing,
No, but it's something that allows us to just, like you say, one night a year we get to just get to go celebrate us.
Yeah.
Because most of the time we're the ones that we spend all of our time making sure everybody's comfortable at home, and then we go home and hopefully our unit's not broke too. Because usually it's always the HVAC tech who's got something broke at the house. For sure. I mean, our dishwasher doesn't work.
Or the 20-year-old.
I've got a sink I need to replace. There's a lot, but it's fun to be able to honor your friends.
For sure.
And to honor the industry.
For sure. So then you've been in. How old are you?
I am 38.
Okay. So you've been in the industry for quite some time. So you've seen a lot change as well.
So I grew up in a work truck and then jumped in a sales car after being in a box truck for a couple of years. So it's crazy how much it has changed seeing it from. I remember we were Dad and I were trying to figure out how to do a website and stuff when I was in high school and then in college, and I laugh every time Mayberry comes out with Fakery Friday, because the amount of times I was in a Friday Fakery photo trying to figure out how to build that website with people that didn't know what we were doing was funny. Hilarious. I still have some of those. I'll just send them to him. But it's terrible. I was like, I know this isn't what I'm supposed to be doing. I know better, but I'm going to hold this because it looks good on the camera. We'll see what happens.
That's funny.
But to see it come from like a single basic website that you're hoping somebody lands on to now we have websites that you go in and you can book your call. You can see a price online. You can do all this stuff before you even get to it. Now it's insane.
Or AI-powered answering services.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Don't even get me started with that. I don't even know where that's even going to go in the next 4 to 5 years.
Yeah, we just did a podcast with Charlie Felker of Free to Grow. And, just the technology is just incredible. And, yeah, we've only scratched the surface with all of that stuff. So even AI, AI-generated videos, like reels and stuff. Mm-hmm. You're like, hey, generate blah, 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 blah. And then it pops it out,
Yeah. Who needs B-reel anymore?
Well, I've been watching these things that come on, and you've probably seen them. They're these videos of like if Moses had an iPhone, right? And it's like his arm is out like this, right? And it's like, hey guys, we just had a meeting with Pharaoh. We asked him to let our people go, and well, as you can imagine, the meeting didn't go too well. And
so I saw one this morning that had a bunch of them, and one of them was Moses as he was standing while the Red Sea was parted. Like, you didn't think this was going to happen, but here you go. There's the proof. No, that's funny.
Yeah, I've seen him do it with a bunch of different Bible characters. It's been really funny. But lately, I've been watching this it's like a gorilla just doing random stuff, camping and like driving like turbocharged Camaros and stuff. And he's like, I just turboed the Camaro, and he's like in the woods. It's like Bigfoot, right? He's like in the woods. He's got his turbo all laying on the ground and stuff. It's hilarious, but it's like so well done. It's like this stuff will replace movie production.
Eventually,
right?
yeah.
So no need to spend millions and millions and millions of dollars to produce this movie when I can have AI do it for dang near nothing.
Well, but you're already seeing like the money shift from the box office to the streaming studio. We've been watching that for years.
For sure.
You know, you start looking how many movies they're in the movie theater for what, 2-3 weeks, and then they're streaming within a month. Used to, you'd be waiting 9 months to go buy the DVD for $30.
Yeah, if you think about how good AI is right now, it's in the next 2 to 5 years, man. It's just going to be crazy.
No, it's scary because you're not going to know. It's going to get to a point you're not going to know what is or isn't real.
I think we're already there. We're already there to a point where it's like, did this really happen? I mean, they're doing voiceovers with like, you know, political people, right? And you're just like, did he really say that?
No, because they pull up the footage and they change everything, and you don't know.
But the lips match, the voice matches, like you just can't tell, right?
No.
So at first glance, if you believe everything you watch online, you'll be like, oh my gosh, I can't believe this guy did that.
Yeah.
You know?
As if we didn't have enough issues getting the real news out of our media these days.
Yeah. Right when you thought you had a handle on it.
Yeah, rabbit hole that way.
What's the craziest thing you've ever done?
That's a loaded question. We talking HVAC or we talking real life?
I'm talking real life.
Real life. Craziest thing I've ever done. Oh, probably marry my wife.
Wow.
Is
that a good thing or crazy?
It's a good thing.
Okay.
We grew up together in a lot of ways. I mean, we've been through a lot. So I'll say in some ways it was the craziest and the best thing. I remember we hadn't been together a really long time when we ended up getting together and then getting engaged. And I remember she was going to move in with me right before I took a job to go to Greenville. And I was still living at home. I had remodeled the basement of my parents' house. I had older parents, so I remodeled the basement just in case we ever needed live-in help or anything later in life. And I remember I was like, Mom, do you guys, it's like, I know y'all like her, but like, do you care if she comes here? I remember Mom walking to her purse and like handing me $20, like, go get her, honey. I'm like, okay, guess this is what's supposed to happen right now. We'll find out later. But yeah, no, craziest but best thing. Since 1961, JP Lamborn Company has been the name behind some of the best flexible duct products in the business. A third-generation family-owned company that built its legacy on integrity, innovation, service. That same spirit drives them today, with antimicrobial technology, top-tier materials, and a relentless focus on quality. When contractors need a product they can stand behind, JPL delivers. It's more than just flex duct, it's peace of mind. JPL, the name you know, the quality you trust, and the flex that delivers.
How old were you when you got married?
So, the day all that happened, I was 23 and she was 18, and then we got married about a little over 3 years later. So we've been married 12 years this year.
Nice. Congratulations.
I'll agree to that. Rebecca's met my wife. She knows she's not too crazy.
Yeah, I've met her.
Yeah.
I've met your wife.
I've got pictures of you two talking at the RLS party, and I was going to use some of them, but I can't because every single one of them, either her mouth is open or your mouth is open, and they look hilarious.
That's funny. The funny thing is that tends to happen when you're yapping.
I know, right?
Yeah. It's hard to talk with your mouth closed.
That's very true. It's very true. So,
when you think of your childhood, what comes to memory?
Oh, man. Going fishing.
You still like to do that?
I haven't went fishing in way too long.
We got a fishing pole in the back of her truck.
So a lot of that was Cajun Joe, born and raised in New Orleans.
Why do you call him? Okay, basically from
so
New
he was
Orleans.
born and raised in New Orleans.
Okay.
And I mean, he has been Cajun Joe as long as I've known him. I mean, he had a hat that said Cajun Joe on it when I was a kid.
That wasn't the name of the HVAC company, was it?
No,
Okay.
it was Help Air Conditioning and Refrigeration. It's supposed to mean heating efficiency loss prevention. I was like, could you have come up with a bigger acronym?
Yeah, that's a little strange, but okay.
But I mean, it happens. But no, he was born and raised in New Orleans. Went in the Navy. He was a boiler tender in the Navy. That's how he kind of got into mechanical stuff.
That's cool.
He had an uncle that was a plumber. He didn't want to be a plumber.
I'd love to do an in the trenches on a Navy ship.
So he was a boiler tender on the Midway. So you can go to San Diego, see if you can get in there. That's a dream one day to love to take him out there if I could before it's too late. But no, we had a fishing camp in the Gulf of Mexico. It was a family camp they built in the 60s. And every year, usually spring break, and then the week after Thanksgiving, we went red fishing for a week. And it was just, you disconnect, and it's paradise. I think the last time I went was 2002, 2003. It got destroyed by a hurricane in 2004, the year before Katrina. Because when they originally built it, it was in marshlands, and all the marshlands were kind of surrounding the oil pipelines and everything else, so you could go into different places around the pipelines, and redfish would just school, and you sit there all day fighting the raccoons off the boat because they'd be trying to get into your ice chest. You wouldn't know it. You'd be pulled up on a marsh. You look over, you have 2 raccoons in the boat trying to get in your cooler.
Did you see my most recent video? Catching a raccoon.
No.
Yeah.
So many raccoons.
Relocating a raccoon, yes. Yeah, I'm building a brand new shop, brand new office, and he scurried up the studs and burrowed into the ceiling where the spray foam is. And we found him because there was some spray foam for the wire was hanging out for the can light. It was on the floor, and we're like, "What's that?" And I was like, "Dude, I bet you something crawled in there." So we grabbed my trusty Navac thermal camera, and we shined it up at the ceiling, and sure enough, there he was right there. So we set some traps. I've caught 3 of them, so this is the 3rd one, and relocated them. But yeah, it was interesting. So, pain in the butt.
There's always good raccoon stories in HVAC.
It's like, I want to kill these things, but they're so cute.
Right.
And I don't want to hurt them, right? So right. I'm just like, I'm gonna relocate them. Yeah, but it's like, dude, you've caused me you're always getting into my trash and getting everything else. But
I mean, they come by the trash panda name very, very easily. I mean, it works.
Yeah.
But no, thinking of growing up, it was fishing with Dad, and then it was working with Dad. It was one of the two. I was either in a work truck or we went fishing.
Nice.
Most of the time it was a work truck.
So, when I was a kid, my parents were in partnership with a couple other families. We had a fish camp in Alaska.
Nice.
Yeah. And that was quite the experience for a 5th grader.
I bet.
Yeah. So, running through the woods and throwing ninja stars and rappelling from trees and just cool stuff. Good times. Good times.
Run into too many grizzlies?
There was some bears, but never around the camp. I don't remember anyway. But we would fly these little planes over the inlet, and then we would go fishing because it was fresh water coming off of the glaciers.
Gotcha.
And when we would land, there would just be all kinds of bears there all over the shore. We would land and pull the plane up because we would be in the hills or whatever fishing long enough that the tide would come back in.
Ah, gotcha.
Yeah, and so we would come back, and then the tide would end up going back out, and then we'd take the plane and take off again. But
so it was like the runway underwater?
No, you'd still. I mean, these are bush planes, right? So the tires are big, so they can handle all the rocks and stuff on the beach. You're basically landing on the beach.
Gotcha.
So, yeah. So it was a good time. I had a good time.
Now, did you hunt too, or just fish?
There we just fished. Yeah, I never really got into hunting.
Neither.
My dad, my grandfather was a hunter, and he took my dad hunting, but my dad never took me hunting. So, yeah.
No, we never. So, Dad grew up fishing in the swamps in Louisiana, but we never hunted when I was a kid. All my buddies went hunting, but we never did.
Did he ever catch gators too, or just fish?
I don't know all the gator stories, but I'm sure there's 1 or 2 good ones.
I remember my grandpa's brother telling him from Mississippi. was telling him, taking him down by the swamps and stuff. He says, if you ever want to get rid of a body, just bring it down here and throw it in. The gators will take care of it real quick.
That's right.
I'm sure Louisiana's the same way.
Oh, it is.
Yeah.
It's funny listening. He and I talked. Maybe it was a couple weeks ago. I was home, and he was talking about it was so different when he was a kid. He's like, I remember like strapping my 410 to the bike and like riding my bike down the street past the sheriff's deputy. He's like, where are you going, boys? It's like, oh, we're going rabbit hunting in the swamp. He's like, have fun. It's like,
yeah. Nowadays it'd be like, freeze, get on the ground.
Yeah. He was like, New Orleans was a different place in the 40s and 50s.
Every place is a different
That's
place.
true.
Yeah. America is not the same America for sure.
No, unfortunately not.
So, yeah, I would never let my kids do what I used to do at their age. You know, just disappear and go camping by myself and go shooting guns and whatever, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'd be like, yeah, you're not doing that. In fact,
No.
my oldest daughter just got her permit, so she's starting to drive now.
A menace to the roads of Texas.
She's a pretty good driver. So she's been driving for a while. So just
Work truck, back roads.
yeah, property. Yeah. Yeah, she knows how to operate a vehicle.
I remember we had my dad always hired people to give him a chance. There's a guy that we hired. I won't say his name, but there's a guy that we had hired. He was originally from LA. He had been in a gang. He was literally tattooed like head to foot. Nobody would hire him. He's the best guy we ever had, man. Helped teach me how to drive. He helped my dad build me a go-kart when I was 9. He finally just retired from another company. His son became like a well-respected Navy officer. Like, he completely turned his life around. But I mean, he was in a gang at 18, and nobody would give him a chance to turn his life around.
Some people who don't have opportunities, they go above and beyond for the person who gives them the opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's not always the case, but some people just totally take advantage of every opportunity ever given to them. You know what I mean? And then they blow it, and then they try to move on to the next.
I remember talking about getting taken advantage of. I remember having employees that would like run up $10,000 worth of tools and then dip. We would see that multiple different times because like Dad would give you access to the account. How else can you go do your job if you don't have it?
Yeah.
It's funny. It's like I look at distribution now, and it's like everyone's got tool accounts where they've got this. And I'm like, man, I wouldn't have imagined like how much money my dad spent on tools that he never got the investment money out of for guys that he just tried to take care of, or the guys that just stole it. It's crazy.
Yeah, they're just pretty wild. Pretty wild. I've seen a lot in this industry over the years, as
we'll
I'm
see
sure.
a whole lot more, I'm sure.
Oh, I'm sure it ain't over. I'm sure it ain't over.
It's just getting started.
This is just a warm up.
That's right. That's right. I got, 30 years left? You probably got, You probably got 30, 35 too.
Why were you about to drop a shorter
I was
number for
going to
me?
be shorter, and it'd be nice. It's going to be shorter and be nice.
You're only a couple of years younger than me.
Well, that's the weird thing. It's like, people ask me how old I am. They're like, I'm 38. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm 38. Like, I don't ever think of it. Like, I don't think past 25. I don't think about myself being older till I get up and I'm like, crap, I'm sore. But it's like I don't think about that. I think you're only as old as you let yourself.
Yeah, it's a mind game for sure. Yeah. But a body, that's it. But a body in motion stays in motion too.
That's right.
So yeah, you gotta take care of yourself. You only got one body. You gotta take care of it.
I'm taking my own advice on that.
Me too, dude. I got a little bit of a belly too.
Okay, skinny mini.
I just built a gym as part of my new office.
Nice.
Yeah, so it came out real nice. So
real nice.
It's real nice.
Real nice, Clark.
So what led you into podcasting? Like, how did you even get into the podcasting game in the first place? Were you just like, I have things I need to say?
No, it legit came from the fact of, I used to always be out in the field. I would be with a contractor or a customer most of the time, and all of a sudden now I'm locked in an office. I can't talk to these people. Like, you can call them on the phone, but I mean, you can only pester your contractor on the phone so many times until you're literally irritating each other. And a lot of my customers over the years have really become my closest friends too. So it's, is there a way that I can expand that and build more friendships, or can I expand the industry? What's an idea? And And 2020 was really, there had been people that had been doing podcasts for all different things at that point, and there were some guys that were doing the trades, but not a ton of us. And I was trying to find a way to be able to talk to the people I couldn't talk to every day. I wanted to have a show that guys would tune into on a Friday afternoon and crack a beer and hear some guys talk about HVAC from maybe some different perspectives, and they learn a little bit, laugh a little bit, and, see you again next week.
Sure.
And some of it was just to be able to bring up different things that I think our industry shied away from talking about, things like mental health and faith and different things that some people just won't touch or won't talk about.
Sure.
And it's like, this is a very physical industry, but it's also very, very mental. The first affiliate sponsorship I ever put together was BetterHelp. I think some of it because I'd seen people that had really good experiences like going through it, but also because in the time we were in, there were all kinds of people that were just mentally just falling apart because they didn't know what to do being locked inside for, we thought it was going to be 2 weeks, not, a year and a half.
Yeah. I hear you. Unfortunately for me, I never had to experience any of that. So the pandemic literally had zero effect on me in my life.
Yeah.
So short of wearing a mask or being asked to wear a mask and then me not being able to stop at, I don't know, Whataburger when I'm, you know what I mean? I'm like, why is this closed on a Wednesday? What the heck's going on here? And then I realized, oh yeah, I forgot we're in the middle of this thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I never stayed home. I was in a truck every day working. It really just did not affect my life.
And in some ways it didn't, outside of the fact that I still went to work every day, but I literally just drove to the branch and sat there. And I was like, okay, there's got to be something else we can be doing. I'd gotten on TikTok and other stuff, and I made stupid videos in the warehouse, like riding a pallet jack through a bunch of different obstacles and stuff like that.
I'd be game for that. You got a pallet jack in the back?
I mean, it's fun, man. There's nothing funner than a pallet jack in a wide open warehouse. But I thought there could be more to it. I really did. And I love conversations with people. I think one of the coolest things about the trade is that there's so many good stories, but there's also so many good stories that never get told.
For sure.
And the only way you can tell them is if you get them to. So, I wanted R&D to be a show where I didn't care what you did or who you were or where you're from. If you've got a story to tell, there's a mic for you. Let's talk about it.
What's your biggest gripe with contractors? Being that you work with contractors and not so much with homeowners, what's your biggest gripe with contractors? And we can blur your face out of this portion and just focus on the HVAC R&D logo.
No, that's okay. I think sometimes that depends. I can't stand when a contractor is too proud to go to training or ask for help. There's a bunch of shit I don't know either, buddy. But the only way I'm going to know about it is if I go learn it.
Yep.
You can't pick up anything in this trade by osmosis as much as you wish you could. It's not the Matrix. You just plug it into your brain and you got it. You got to go screw up some.
Yeah, I feel like, there's the problem with a lot of guys in our industry is the moment you close yourself off to learning is the moment that your ego and your pride takes over. Because the only reason that you think you don't need to learn anything is because you have an ego and you think you know everything there is to know.
That's right.
And then you use the wild card of, oh, well, I've been doing this for 20 years or 30 years. And it's like, stop. The very fact that you have to throw that even out there to begin with is the problem.
Yeah, I don't need your resume.
Yeah.
What's the problem?
So I was in... this is funny. I was in Johnstone in Austin, South Branch. I'll never go back into this store again. And the guy at the counter begins to help me, right? And I start telling him what I'm looking for. And then he tells me, hold on, and he answers the phone. And then he helps the customer on the phone from start to finish, walks in the back, does a bunch of stuff. And as he's walking off to the back, he's like, hold on, I'll tell you all about weld and aluminum when I get back. And the guy standing at the counter next to me looks at me and smiles. And I was like, he's going to tell me? Like, this is a counter guy with zero field experience. He's going to tell me how to do stuff in the field? And I'm like, oh, this is going to be interesting. So he comes back, finishes his stuff on the phone, and then tells me, well, the problem with aluminum is just so stinking thin. That stuff just melts and this and that. And I was like, stop. I'm not asking, I've done this before. I'm not asking for you to tell me how to do my job. I'm just asking if you have the kit that I'm looking for. Mm-hmm. And then he tells me no, and I said, okay, thank you. Have a nice day. And I turned around and I walked out. And then he proceeded to heckle me and basically make fun of me as I'm walking out of the store.
And where does that even come from? Like, it doesn't even make sense. Like, why would he do that?
And then he says, oh, you can buy that. You could probably buy it from Home Depot. Like, I'm just like, I just looked at him and I was like, real classy, bro. You know what I mean? But here's a prime example of a guy who, he's not wrong. Aluminum is super thin, and it doesn't take much to melt it, right? Nope. But I wasn't asking him how to do the job or if he had seen it done or what his experience was. I didn't ask any of that. I simply asked if he had the kit. And instead of just doing what I needed, right, he wanted to try to build up this like, oh, I know all about this and this and that. I was like, dude, you're not in the field. You don't know nothing. You're just regurgitating something that somebody else had already told you, or maybe a trainer came in and spit this knowledge at you, right? And now you're flexing it like you have firsthand experience. So it was super irritating. But I say all that to say that the ego in our industry is just ridiculous, right? And the fact that you've closed yourself off to learning something new because, well, Solder Weld makes a kit to repair aluminum, right? Mm-hmm. This guy clearly didn't know that, which is why he was trying to deter me from even trying to repair aluminum in the first place, right? So it's like if you close yourself off to learning, it's not because you just have learned everything that you think you can learn. It's because your ego is there. It's in the way, stopping you from being able to learn anything more. And anybody who says that they know everything there is to know about HVAC you're wrong. You're a liar. And like, I don't want to be anywhere near you. Like, you have nothing to teach me if that's going to be your attitude. You know what I mean?
What's up, trade crew? You've heard the buzz, you've seen the press gang at every single AHR. Contractors across the country are ditching their torches for RLS press fittings, and they're not looking back. Why? Because RLS lets you finish faster, safer, and cleaner. From rooftops to mechanical rooms, crawl spaces and attics, it's a press and go solution that's leak tested, UL recognized, and proudly made in America. Make the switch to RLS and take the heat out of your installs, literally. RLS, rapid locking system, press forward and press on. I had a very good friend of mine that said evolve or dissolve years ago, which is why it's not on this shirt, but it's on a bunch of the shirts I've got, and it's on a lot of different things. I think it's on my backpack. No, that's just the website, but it's on a bunch of different things. It says evolve or dissolve. And that's really because if you're not learning something new in this trade, you are going backwards.
For sure.
If you're not learning something new every day, you're really going backwards.
Yep.
Because every single day we've got something different that changes. Some code changes or product changes, or there's an update to this or an update to that. So, I mean, you can't expect to have a 20, 30, 40-year career in the trades and never learn a thing. I think another thing that's drove me nuts is everybody has griped so much that we've changed SEER to SEER 2 in different ways we rate, and everybody's griped that we've changed refrigerants. Man, I didn't pick for us to change it, but that's what our industry is doing. Yeah. So we can either learn it and figure it out together,
or get out of the industry.
Or we can get out of the industry and go do our own thing. Otherwise, we're just going to be pretty dang miserable.
SEER, in my personal opinion, anyway, and people, this will probably ruffle people's feathers, but SEER is a crap number anyway. It's a terrible number. Yeah, SEER is a crap number anyway. It's rated under ideal conditions with a perfect installation, a perfect refrigerant charge. Like, everything is so manufactured and dialed in a laboratory, right? It's not real world.
No, none of it is.
And so it's like, I'm going to put this particular matchup together because it gives my client half a SEER more. It's like, who gives a crap, dude? The SEER rating is a crap number anyway, right? And a lot of people will be like, "Oh, you're wrong," and blah blah. Like, wait for the comments, right?
It doesn't matter if your ductwork sucks and your return's oversized or undersized or one of the above. It's
your equipment is one thing, your ductwork is another thing, and the people putting it all together are another thing. And all three of those really have to be on an equal playing field in order for that unit to do what it was ever designed and meant to do. You hook it up to a bunch of leaky ductwork. Well, what was the point of that really high SEER system that you just sold that client?
It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You
did them a huge injustice by selling them that 20 SEER unit with a bunch of leaky ductwork.
So another gripe with contractors. Sorry, guys. Don't just sell somebody high SEER because you think they want high SEER. Give them the options, talk through what their problem is,
Let them decide.
and then let them decide, and then you put it in to the best of your ability. And if there's problems, if you need to fix ductwork, tell them you need to fix it. If you can't fix it, they don't want to fix it, fine. But do it the right way first. Don't just cram the most expensive thing down somebody's throat, because it's not always, just because you pull up to the house and they look like they can afford it doesn't mean that that's the proper solution.
Well, I think part of the problem with that is private equity, right? Taking over these companies, and it's all about the dollar. Like, it's just money, 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 money. Like, drive revenue, that's the goal, right? And then you have the sales guys that, some of which are really, really good. Others are brought from entirely different industries and know nothing about HVAC. And here they are designing a system for your home, and they know nothing about HVAC.
Yep.
Right? That's a dangerous place to be. Right now in Austin, we're dealing with a lot of homes that are like 5 years old and younger that have severe mold problems. Because the systems were never put in their house. The homes are not dehumidifying the way that they're supposed to, right? Ductwork is leaking all over the place. And then you go, well, code says you have to have, your ductwork has to pass a certain, duct blaster test and this and that. You're absolutely right. It does. And they're technically passing, but it's because they're buying off the guy who's writing the numbers, right?
Yep.
So who's liable for all this stuff, So I say all that because we're fixing all of these problems in these homes where we shouldn't have these problems. But it's a prime example of these systems are not installed right. They're not designed properly, right? And it's just like they're just throwing stuff in. And the other part of that problem is these builders aren't paying what they should be paying to get a properly installed system. And then you wonder why you're having so many lawsuits. It's just like, well, dude, you did this to yourself, right?
Yep.
You shunned this other guy because he was too expensive, because he was going to do things the right way. You went with the lowest bidder. So I don't have any sympathy for you,
Well, and it's funny, there was just an ACHR News article that was talking about the amount of lawsuits just continue to pile up. And it makes sense why they do. And I mean, I've seen multiple situations in a lot of retrofit applications that end up having the same issues that some of these 4 and 5 year old homes now have, or end up in older homes.
Yep.
Someone goes in and replaces a 10 SEER system that used to have a 45-minute runtime that helped dehumidify the house. And they're like, oh, we'll sell them this 19 SEER single stage unit. Well, it's going to run for 10 minutes. And then they wonder why, like, you can wipe the moisture off the walls.
Yeah.
Because they don't understand.
Well,
the
inverter-driven systems are similar, right? Like, you get these such long run times, which is great, but then you also, the cold inside the ductwork overcomes the R value of the ductwork, and now you're sweating, right? Well, what happens then? Like, you can put the pieces of the puzzle together. So it's a science, and there's a reason why you have to be educated, and there's a reason why Tim DeStasio does what Tim DeStasio does, right?
Don't come and get us, Tim.
So it's interesting how a lot of guys, again, well, I've been doing this for 20 years. Dude, the game has changed, right? What you did 20 years ago doesn't work today, right?
No,
the methods don't work, and the approach just doesn't work, right?
No.
So, yeah, things change. Equipment changes. Refrigerant changes. Temperatures have changed. Humidity has changed. Like, there's a lot of variables, and you can't keep doing things the way that you used to do them.
No.
So.
And unfortunately, people in this industry, we do things and it works. So then we think it's just,
but did
that
it?
should work. That's exactly.
But did it?
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
My favorite thing is when they go, I've been doing this for 20 years this way, and I've never had a callback. I go, whoa, never? That's never's a long time, dude.
It's like, you sure they just didn't call someone else? And you don't know?
100%. That's exactly what happened. Yeah. Yeah, they probably called you back 2 or 3 times. You think you got it, but reality is that they were just tired of dealing with you because you couldn't fix the problem.
Yep.
So they called somebody else.
Yep.
Yeah.
And somewhere in between, some poor tech guy from the distributor was out there with the homeowner pulling his hair out like,
yeah, I'm really sorry our dealers did this to you. Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting. And really what it boils down to is a lack of education on our side as contractors, right? And ego. If you lay down your ego, you'll realize you don't really know what you think you know, right? Or the more you start to learn, the more you realize that, man, I really don't know anything. I need to go back and learn, you know?
Well, and
I say that from personal experience.
Yeah, the more you learn and the reflection and the retrospective action it creates from it that's probably one of the most interesting things about this industry. The longer I'm in it, the less I realize I know.
100%. Yeah, I mean, I'm third generation doing this. I've been doing this a long time, and I'm still learning stuff every day, right? But it was when I was in my 20s, dude. I was freaking hot shot, dude. I thought I was the man, dude. The people that the Ben you guys know today behind Tactical is an extremely humble version of what I used to be.
I didn't know Ben was humble.
Okay, I'm clearly doing something wrong.
I'm kidding.
I'm just messing. But back then, it was like you couldn't tell me anything. In fact, my grandfather, I remember I was 17 years old. My grandpa introduced me to somebody that he knew, and he says, "This is my grandson, Ben. Don't bother telling him anything. He's 17 years old. He already knows it." Right? And I thought to myself, wow, like that, my grandpa just introduced me like that. But looking back now, I realized that's the personality I had. You couldn't teach me anything because I already knew everything, right? And when I got into my 20s and I realized, I should probably go back and educate myself, I quickly realized how much I actually didn't know at all. And I think back to all of these times when I was just running my mouth in training classes and just being obnoxious, and then now I go into training classes today and I see young people acting the same exact way. And I'm like, this kid, you're just a kid. You don't know. You know what I mean?
You hadn't got knocked down enough to
you just
realize
don't know.
what you don't know.
So, yeah.
You know what? I know that feeling. Because in a lot of ways, I was that guy from time to time. I think any of us who were, I would say, born into the company at some point probably had a head bigger than we should have
for
had.
sure. For sure. Well,
Once
you
or
took the
twice.
shortcuts,
Once or
right?
twice. That's right.
Because your dad was the owner, or you were in the business every day, and you didn't have to, essentially, for lack of better terms, you didn't have to work your way up through the ranks like all these other guys where they know nothing and they have to start from scratch and learn all this stuff, right? So I've been running service calls for years and years before I ever figured out like how to master like superheat and subcool, and and how to dial that stuff in. And I remember one time I hooked up an old mechanical limit switch, right, that would turn the fan on and stuff, and I forgot to clip the jumper in the back for high voltage, and I ended up burning some stuff up, and a senior tech went out behind me and was like, "Who put this in?" And I was like, "I did." And he's like, "Oh, you forgot to clip the jumper." And I'm all, "What jumper?" You know what I mean? I didn't know, right? And it was in those moments where I'm like, man, I don't know what I don't know, right? And you just start learning. So.
And see, I missed, like I know Rachel was talking earlier about the technical side of things and doing service. Service was what I missed out on. I never really did a ton of service. I was running install crews from like 13 to 18, but it was mainly because I was working summers.
Sure.
So the recall for install was there because it was just so repetitive. Like I had ductwork drilled into my head. Like I don't think I could forget anything about ductwork that the dad taught me. But when it came to service, it was just, I'd pick it up for a bit and then you sit it down for so long that it's not constantly in your head.
Right.
It's like you either have to go do service at least a little bit every single day, or it's a struggle to jump and go do service.
Everything is
whim.
a perishable skill, right? So if you're not doing it, you start to lose it.
Yep.
So yeah, you got to stay in the game for sure. Being that I'm not in the field every day, when I go back in the field, I'm like, oh man, I forgot to bring that tool because you know what I mean? I forgot. So I did a job one time. I forgot to change a filter dryer out, and that haunted me because we plugged the filter dryer. It was a compressor burnout. But it was just like I hadn't been in the field in a long time, and I just forgot the basic of things, you know what I mean? And it was, raw reminder.
Jason, or HVAC J604, people don't know who I'm talking about. So Jason and I did a show a couple of weeks ago, and he's transitioned more into kind of a management role. And one of the things that he and I talked about on the show was like going into management, you have to remember that you still have to find a way to keep a finger on the pulse of what's in the field.
Yep.
Because the longer you're out of it, the more disconnected of it you are, or more disconnected from it you are, which makes it harder for you to not even just jump in on the front line with an employee, but when they start calling and asking questions, you start realizing like, oh man, I've not done that in a bit.
Well, and also think about like what happens if the industry passes you by,
Mm-hmm.
right? And now all of a sudden it's like, oh, I don't know anything about that.
Yeah.
I've been out of the field through this entire 454 changeover.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like going back into the field, touching stuff. It's just like, okay, let me open up this manual. Let me read this real quick.
Yep.
And I've seen bits and pieces of the training on the refrigerants and stuff like that. But, I just don't know the ins and outs like I would if I were in the field every day, but honestly, I don't have a desire to be in the field every day. So, so there's that.
It's hard to build a business if you're spending every day working in the business.
For sure.
You have to work on the business and not in it. You have to kind of pull yourself out of it.
Yeah. I agree. I'm not trying to build an HVAC company. I have somebody else to do that. I'm trying to build a tactical brand.
That's right.
So yeah, that's my focus anyway. But where are we at on time?
45 minutes, 46 minutes right now.
Is there anything that you would want to leave the audience, whether that be from a podcasting perspective, just a personal Rhydon perspective?
I think I'll take it as an overall perspective, I guess. Not just trade specific, but life specific. But be good to those that are good to you and take care of those that take care of you. But also don't forget to pay it forward either.
For sure.
There's plenty of people that if you pay it forward, they will too. But if no one pays it forward for them, they never think to do it for somebody else.
Yeah. Focus on the people.
Focus on people.
Yeah. That's a good word, man. I like that. Well, man, I appreciate you being here.
No, absolutely. Thanks for
hanging out.
Yeah, thanks for coming to visit.
Your neck of the woods.
Yeah, neck of the woods.
Yeah.
So.
Well, what to do in Charlotte, I guess. We're about to find out.
That's right.
So.
How much trouble you want to get in?
Those days are long past me.
Oh, man, come on.
Right on. Well, right on.
Right on.
We'll see you guys next time.
This episode of Behind the Mindset is brought to you by Bosch Home Comfort.
Trade crew, thank you again for listening to this special edition of HVAC R&D being featured on Behind the Mindset with HVAC Tactical. You can watch the full video version on the HVAC Tactical YouTube channel, and please make sure to go find you a copy of the latest edition of the HVAC Tactical magazine at a distributor near you, or check it out online at hvactactical.com. If you're not following HVAC R&D online, you can find me on Instagram and TikTok at hvac.rnd, as well as on LinkedIn, TradeHounds, and Facebook as the HVAC R&D podcast. Make sure to follow the newest R&D bonus show, the HVAC Zoomies, on Instagram at HVAC Zoomies, and stay tuned for more episodes where HVAC Rach and I talk about HVAC news real fast so we can talk about cars that go real fast. Thank you for listening on your favorite platform, whatever it may be. Please smash the like and subscribe button to follow the show. Like and rate the show, leave me a review or a comment, and share the show with your trade crew. Go check out hvacrnd.com and explore the Ramblin' Rhino column and my partner links in the vendor hub. If you would like to work with me or join the show, click the link to the podcast questionnaire in the episode description or on social media. Have a great week, trade crew, and I'll catch you soon. Peace.